Breaking news, you guys. NCAA Football 24 coming out next year is going to have the same gameplay as Madden. Alright, we need to talk about this, alright? If I'm being brutally honest with y'all, I think we're kind of overreacting a little bit. I know Madden's gameplay hasn't been the best as in recent years, but I only say that we're overreacting a little bit because what did we expect? I mean, you can't just naturally say, oh, well, they're going to use the same gameplay and they're just going to go from there. Like, the only time they really use or try a new gameplay is with Madden. That's how they do it to start first. Then they go to NCAA and then they translate it. All right. So with that being said, I think we overreacted a little bit on those things. I think we should just, tone it down just a little bit, because I feel like even though we know the gameplay isn't the best at all, there's definitely time to still actually switch it up in later years, man. Don't put their eggs all in one basket. Tried to say that the first time. Because, bro, if you just try to do all the new stuff and try a new gameplay on the first NCAA football game, nah, I say just let it build, let it relax, bring the old stuff back, and which they did, which I'm about to talk about, and then you go from there. So one other thing that they were saying, so shout out to 247 Sports, they actually have an actual article on the new stuff that's coming to NCAA football, or the new ideas or the new things that are officially done or being made as of right now. We do know that currently some of the commentators on ESPN are actually doing the commentating as of right now, trying to work on that stuff. So I'm excited for that too. I hope Joe Tessitore is on there. I feel like Joe Tessitore brings a college football game to something even bigger when he comments. Like, me personally, I hope it's Joe Tessitore and Kirk Herbstreit. I feel like there would be such an energy to the new game that would make me feel a lot excited. I don't know, that's just me though. They did announce that the game will only release on next gen consoles. My personal opinion, I'm kind of fine with that. I'm fine with that. But the first time they did that was 2020, which was Madden 21. So by the time we hit Madden 24, it's going to be 2023, or NCAA or college football 2023. So, I mean, it's only right that you go from there. The only way they could go is up in the generations. So it's only right. One other thing they did say though is that EA plans to release roster updates during the life cycle of the game. Now about that, I have heard some rumors saying that they might not be able to do an actual customization of the roster. I ain't gonna hold you, if that's the case, that's low-key kind of mid. Okay, if you can't really customize the roster, that takes away from something every single time. Like, imagine if you weren't able to customize the roster for Madden. Like, bro, that's crazy. That's crazy. All right. So good thing that they're gonna, at least do that and update everything, because I do want the players to get paid. I do want all that to happen, all that jazz, Said Dynasty and Road to Glory will be in the game. Everybody's getting hyped for that, but that's the bare minimum. We already knew that was gonna happen. If you didn't put a Road to Glory or Dynasty, it would have been pointless of the game. Okay. I don't know why people were so excited for that. Like, we already knew that was gonna happen. There was no way they were gonna take that out. Okay. They did say virtual magazine covers will return in Dynasty. I love that feature. The feature back from NCAA 08, and then going back to the PS2 games, all the way starting back in NCAA 04, I think, 03, some to that extent. But I actually love that. I love that feeling. I love that they're doing that. That's going to be really dope, add a little bit to it. I hope that they do have a little radio station, like, all the old Madden games or anything. So, there could be like, random people just talking on it while you're trying to look at the Dynasty and all that jazz. I don't know. That's just me. He then said the game will feature throwback unis. Now, are we talking throwback unis? Like throwback, like how Madden does, and they go all the way back to all the like old jerseys? Or are you talking throwbacks as in the ones that we missed in the time span of not having the game? Either way, I'm perfectly fine with. But I love having unlimited, like a crazy amount of uniform combinations. Shout out to College Football Revamped. They've done that a lot, and I actually love it a lot. I'm actually read from one of these articles of which they say, you know, certain things is going to happen, right? So other things that they're saying too is that according to 247 Sports, here's the latest on the news on EA Sports college football. So of course I already said on-air talent from ESPN are recording commentary. Game engine's going to be built from Madden. I already heard about that. Focus on the game design, atmosphere, and traditions. Of course, if you're starting and you're trying to revamp the whole entire game, take it away from Madden, you gotta have that. You gotta have that. I already did a video about them saying that they were going to, you know, add realistic, you know, band sounds and everything, atmospheres, all that. You know, like I said, I really want whiteouts for Penn State. I want, you know, team color games for like Penn State, Iowa State. I forgot who else does it, but you get the point. They said robust team specific playbooks. I love that. I need team specific playbooks or the ability to customize my own playbook. I feel like that's only right. You go from there, and you know, I feel like that very much adds success to it. Cause hey, if it wasn't for custom playbooks, I wouldn't have won national championships on this game. All right. So based off this little article for the most part, it's saying it also prompts the question: how will EA Sports handle the roster if a team's star quarterback refuses to be in the game? Developers are still discussing options. Possibilities include creating a fictional player with as few connections as possible to the real world starter. So for example, I know I did my research and I know that like MVP baseball, EA Sports, like 05, I think, they didn't have Barry Bonds, so they had to create a random player. Or like the old NBA Live games that had MJ back in the Bulls, but except they didn't have his rights, so they had to create a regular player, a generic player who was just OP as much as Michael Jordan was. And honestly, I'm fine with that because it doesn't take away from anything. It still wouldn't make the difference. Like I said, if we could customize rosters the way we want to, it won't even matter in the first place. That's just me personally. Simply elevating the real world backup or to starter. The decision on whether to allow customers to edit rosters is also a point of contention and possibly, So they are discussing that, and I very much want them to do that. I feel like that kind of takes away from something if you don't, really have that. On the other hand, I get it. It makes sense, but it's like, come on, man, we really need that to go down. And I have caught a little bit of slack because I told people that I trust EA Sports. Now, knowing all the stuff with EA Sports and everything hasn't been the best. Why do I trust EA Sports? I think the reason why I trust EA is for the simple fact that this is too big of a moment. Okay, gameplay might be an issue. It might be an issue, might be a huge issue at that. And we're already aware of that. But one thing I will say is that, dude, this is one of the most important game releases in recent memory. In sports gaming memory. Dude, this is huge right now. A return like this deserves a lot, bro. I don't feel like EA would sell the bag like that. There's no way they could sell the bag like that. That's me personally. But I just feel like there's a lot that can happen and there's a lot that can be done. And I feel like, somebody like EA or 2K can really step in. And honestly, I just want to be optimistic. I feel like being optimistic at this time is really something we need because there's been a lot of negativity surrounding around EA, even at times by me. But at the end of the day, I'm not trying to speak that negativity into existence. Y'all, let's just hope that it's a good game to start, man. Remember, this is their start, all right? So not everything's going to be perfect going forward. All I got to say is I'm keeping hope, man. I don't know about y'all, but I think it's only right, dog. But anyways, y'all, that's all that's here for this video today, man. I had to make this video to give y'all the news, man. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, share this with your friend while you at it. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, the OG channel. Links in the description will be down below. But until then, it's the kids.